How y'all doing out there in YouTube land? This is Stiletto coming at you from the Wild Wild West. Well, this video that I'm going to make today is just going to be like a compilation video of all the outdoors knives that I've been trying out. I'm just going to give my little point of view of them. My experience with them. I know everybody's experience is different. Some people may agree, may disagree. That's cool. Just tell me what your experience is. That's cool. And let's get this party started. Let's first start off with the folders. My favorite folders I've tried for the outdoors. Now, we got to start right here. This is the man for the outdoors folders. The 5 Max, people. The Demco 5 Max from Cold Steel. Absolutely love it. This is the one I recommend the most. This can do the job, a lot of the jobs of a fixed blade. It's got a high saber flat ground blade made out of S35VN. Beautiful. About 5 millimeters thick. The liners and the backspacer, from what I've been told, are titanium. I know they're not magnetic. How did I know that? Magnet doesn't stick to them. That's magnetic up here because we're getting to the blade steel now. And the lock bar is magnetic. But the backspacer, the liners, the pocket clip, no. So you got a lot of titanium in this one, people. Just letting you know. For those of you that like titanium, absolutely love this knife. I've used it already for batoning and splitting wood and doing some wood crafting type duties, and it's held its own. This DLC, this bead blasted, or we call it stonewash DLC finish, it's held its own. It didn't get messed up at all. Absolutely love it. This knife goes to work with me every day in my bug out bag that rides in my trunk of my car with all my bug out gear. That's what, to me, that's perfect knife for that, because in a bug out bag, I use my Max Prediction bags, and I find that it's easy to carry a folding knife because you don't have to worry about the sheath, and it folds up into a smaller package, and you can put it inside one of the pockets inside of it. I also put a fixed blade in there too. I like to carry like the combat size, 6 to 7 inch fixed blade. But this one goes in my bug out bag. Absolutely love it. 5 Max. Next up, 4 Max Scout. I absolutely love this one too. All these knives I'm showing you, except for one of them, will be all right. Go to work with me every day. This is another one of them. 4 Max. It rides in my other Maxpedition bag. And last but not least, this goes in my overnight bag. My Maxpedition bag. Goes with me to work every day. In my job, sometimes I have to work overnight. I get hilled overnight, so I have an overnight bag, and this knife goes in the overnight bag. So I guess you could tell I like my 4 Maxes and 5 Maxes for emergency knives. I think they're some of the best knives that you can get. If you want a heavy duty knife that I know it's not a fixed blade, but it's as close as you can get to a fixed blade, as far as I'm concerned. My experience with Triad folders is I got total faith in a Triad. This is my opinion, people. I love the new Atlas lock, but when it comes down to to the nitty gritty, I trust a Triad. That's the one I trust. And I'm not going to tell people I trust something more than a Triad when I don't. This one right here is the other model that I would recommend for a heavy duty survival type folder. That's also good for wood crafting. You know, we've used it in a lot of videos. It's the SR1 folder. This is the S35VN, CPM S35VN model with the OD green G10 handles. But they also make another model, their budget model. You always get, you always can find it for under 50 bucks, and it has the Chinese 8CR. Was it 8CR 13 or 14 MOV steel? I have a couple of those too, but they're put away in the safe. This is the one that stays out. This is my user. This is the one that I like to use, and I've had it for several years now, and it's just an awesome knife. And it always gets heavy duty chores that it has to do. And it's held up just fine, perfectly. And one thing that's cool about this one, as opposed to like a Scout or a 4 Max, the 4 Max weighs a lot more. This knife weighs like 3 ounces more. This one's closer to 10 ounces, as opposed to this one's closer to 7 ounces. And we're going to get Juno off the table. All right, sweetie. That's my girl. That's my sweetie. Oh, she's got that look like, I want to get back on the table. How dare you knock me off the table? All right. But this is the other one. And it comes in a clip point blade too. I just prefer the Tonto. I have like 4 of these. When you include, I have 2 of the light ones and 2 more. Well, I actually have 5 of them because I have 2 more of these. Or is it, no, it's either 4 or 5 I have, people. I can't remember. I think I have 4. I always get one to use and one to collect. And I think that's what I did with this. And I got the two other ones. I gave one to Lucky. So maybe I only have 3. Maybe I only have 3 left. Because I gave one to Lucky. I gave one of the light ones to Lucky. But anyway, I absolutely love this knife, people. It's been one of my favorites for years now. And this one's done all sorts of batoning and wood splitting, wood crafting. And it works just like brand new. It looks like brand new. And I've had this knife for years. Awesome knife. SR1. Highly recommend it. But these are the folders I would recommend for outdoor, heavy duty use. I know they have the 8010, but the 8010 that I like to carry has a hollow ground blade. And so I didn't pull that one out. That's my OG Goat 8010 that I modified. And my other one with the saber ground blade, that one's put away in the safe. And I would recommend the 8010, the one with the saber ground blade though. The one that I don't have out. Because the 8010 blade is pretty much like this blade. It's pretty much like a standard, style Demco blade. Pretty much, I think he loves drop point blades. Drop point, spear point, whatever you call them, type blades. And so you'll find that most of his knives that are like the heavy duty knives especially will have blades like this. But the 8010 that I have, is the saber ground one. That one's put away in the safe. And then I have one that's older than that also that has a hollow ground blade with this type of blade. That was like the original one that they made. But the ones I like to carry are the Tonto ones. And I have a regular Tonto one that's out. That's a S35VN. And then I have my Tonto Light 8010. But I don't think of those as being like heavy duty. Like I said, I don't use hollow grains for wood crafting. So that's why you don't see an 8010 on the table. But I do recommend the 8010 also. As long as it's the 8010 with the saber ground blade, saber flat ground blade. Not the one with the saber hollow ground blade or the Tonto hollow ground blade with the flat ground tip. I absolutely love these people. These got 4-inch blades. These are like 4.8 millimeters thick. They're super thick. This one has a Japanese AUS 10A steel. I also have the American version and the Italian version, and those had 20 CV. But those are collectors. I don't use those. These are the ones I use. And these are ones that have been used. All these knives have been used to split wood and do woodwork with, you know, on YouTube for you guys. All of them have done that. You can see how well they look. You know, like I say, you know, especially with the stone ground finish. If it gets a little bit marred up when you're using it for wood crafting, you know, you just clean it off with some oil. And that's all I use to clean these with, is just oil, and then I strop them. Because you want to strop all the sap out of the edge. You don't want to leave all that stuff in your edge, and then it could cause damage to your edge, you know, rot it or whatever. You want to always clean your knives after you use them, people. That's what I recommend. If you want them to last, if you don't have to constantly be sharpening them because you're dulling out the edge or pitting out the edge, because you're letting parts of it get rotted or rusted, and then when you go to use it, you have like a hiccup in your edge or whatever. Always clean your knives. You know, I like, you know, especially if you're doing woodwork, I always like you know, put them in the sink, and I use dishwater on the blades. You know, on the blades. I don't wash the whole knife. I just wash the blade with dishwater and a sponge. I don't use the scrubbing pad part of the sponge. I just use the soft part of the sponge, because I'll never try to mar up my knives. But I use dish soap. Then after that, you dry it all off really good, get it all dried off really good, and then you clean it with oil. And then after you clean it with oil, you wipe it off with a microfiber cloth, and it'll look like this. If it's a stone wash blade. Stone wash blade finishes, to me, handle heavy chores better than any of the other finishes. Now the coated finishes, I think DLC is the best. And this one they used the DLC on. They used the best coating that you could use on it. And I did a lot of wood crafting with this one, and the finishes held up. I love the way this one feels in the hand too. This one is a great knife for doing heavy duty chores with the heavy duty folder. It's like the handle and everything's made to go to work. This is a working knife. It's meant to do heavy duty chores. And that's why I think of camp folders. You know, I think of them not as being a combat blade. I think of them being as more like a heavy duty survival type folder. Sure, you know, any knife can be a combat blade. You know, no doubt about that. But not any knife can be a great survival knife. And I think these are great survival knives for folders. And I would also include the 80-10. I'd also include the 80-10 in there, but I don't have an example of that out that I could show you guys right now. All right, people. 5-inch blade, and these are all 4-inch blades. Let's weigh these out real quick, just so you can see the weights of them. The lightest one first. 7.3 ounces. This one is, you know, you can carry this one. This one is, you know, is EDC friendly. 10.0 ounces. 10.0 ounces. 13.6 13.6 ounces. Now you see why I use these knives as backpack knives. They go in my backpacks. They go in my, and that's why I use these knives. I don't physically carry them. Now, you know, if the apocalypse happens or some, you know, emergency happens, some sort of disaster, you know, weather disaster happens or anything like that happens, and I need to carry these, I will. But is this something I want to carry every day? No. These are emergency knives for me, or wood crafting knives, or outdoorsman's knives, or emergency knives. That's the way I think of all these knives. Now, if I was going to carry any of these, it's this one. I do carry this one sometimes. This one's in my ADC drawer. So this one does get carried. This is the most heavy-duty knife I do carry. The SR1. These I don't carry, unless it's like a special occasion that I need that kind of a knife. But this one's nice to carry every day anyway. And like I said, this one comes in a clip blade too. And you always can get the clip blade. For some reason, it's always less expensive than the Tonto. But me, myself, I like the Tonto. You can see why. This is a tank of a knife. This is the most heavy duty, I think, Tonto blade that they make for a folder at Cold Steel. It's got, 4.8 millimeter thick high saber flat ground with the flat ground tip. American Tonto blade designed by Lindsey Thompson. This knife was designed by Lindsey Thompson and Andrew Demco. This is an awesome knife, people. And the way that this one's made is that the stainless steel liners encapsulate the partial stainless steel liners encapsulate the triad locking mechanism and the pivot. It's the same formula that Andrew Demco uses in the 8010s. I mean, not the 8010s, but the 8020s and the 8020Ss. Those are made the same way. Absolutely love this knife, people. All right, well, let's close this one out. One more thing. These are G10 with S35VN, and these are Grivery with Japanese AUS 10A. These have full stainless steel liners, which makes them very strong. Full stainless steel liners with Grivery back spacers. This one has full titanium liners, titanium back spacer, stainless steel lock bar, S35VN blade. 4.8 millimeters thick. They all got the same thickness. This one has a G10 back spacer, partial stainless steel liners, G10 handle scales, and CPM S35VN blade. They're all saber flat grounds. All right, people. These are ones I recommend for heavy duty use over any other knife on the planet. Any other knife. I don't think any other knife is better. I don't care how much it costs. I don't care if it costs $10,000. I would still pick one of these. Peace. Stiletto.